Welcome to the Adaptive Outdoorsman Podcast. It is brought to you by Action Trackchair, proud sponsor and champion of outdoor accessibility. Action Trackchair is committed to empowering individuals with mobility challenges to explore the great outdoors with freedom and independence. Whether it's hunting in rugged terrain, casting a line by the water, or hitting the trails with a hike, the Action Trackchair is the ultimate all-terrain wheelchair that empowers you to get outside. Custom build your track chair today at actiontrackchair.com. Action Trackchair, unlike adventure. I would like to introduce our guest, Dan Horgan, retired Air Force HACP and JTAC, former police officer and director of marketing operations for BRCC. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, Sean, thanks. Thanks for having me on. Glad we were able to link up.
Hey, I'm really happy to be able to link up. I love talking with people, especially I find the amount of people I talk to are a lot of former military guys nowadays, which I got no problem with.
Nah, well, the outdoors, it's natural for us, right? I mean, we might have done some stupid exercises and deployments that were crappy outdoors, but we normally like outdoors.
Yeah. I think I know why my affinity for the military is, other than the fact that I tried joining all three branches when I was in a young dung teen, but my feet wouldn't allow it. Literally, first chance, I'm like, I have bad feet. I'm going to join the Air Force. You know, this is high school. They're like, can you do a duck walk? No. Sorry about your luck.
Yeah.
All right. Marine Corps. Sorry about your luck. Army.
Yeah, you got to have good feet. You got to have good feet.
It sucks, but I get to say this, though. I've had family members, and I don't care how many times I say this on the podcast. I have family members that, or ancestors, I would say, that served in the American Revolution, the Civil War, and my stepdad's. My dad actually was, I think, during Vietnam, but he was stationed over in Germany. And then my stepdad, his dad served in World War II.
Okay, yeah.
So
my dad served in the Navy in Vietnam, and then I joined, and then my wife actually joined 3 years after we were married. And she's still in, so I actually get to check being a military spouse too. now that I retired, she's still in, so I'm a mil spouse. So she's Air Force. I tell my kids, I'm like, I got 4 kids. My daughter's older, but Sarah's 30. She lives in New York, and she's obviously not joining. But I got 3 boys, 21, 18, and 13. I look at them, and I'm like, one of y'all better join. Like, I don't know what you're going to do, draw straws, something's going to need to happen.
Yeah, watch this. Dad, I joined the Marine Corps.
It's fine. I mean, we make jokes about Marines, but I'll tell you, I mean, their heritage, courage, and like a lot of their stuff. Like I'd be a phenomenally proud dad if they even joined the Marine Corps.
Dude,
I was gonna make a Coast Guard joke, but I don't want any Coasties to hate me, so that'd be great too if they joined the Coast Guard.
I know too many Marines. I've lost track of the amount of Marines I know.
I know a bunch of stupid Navy SEALs and Green Berets.
Yeah. I got a buddy of mine that I used to go to work with and whatnot. Actually, my brother-in-law, he actually did a tour over in Iraq too.
Yep.
But yeah, I know a buddy of mine. He actually used to work on the A-10 Warthogs.
Yeah, nice.
And
I went to Afghanistan in 2011.
Yeah. I forget when he was serving and whatnot. I think he's not retired from what I can tell. He's still serving. He's still working on, I think it's machine fab and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, nice. I know. You gotta love how they keep everything in-house these days.
Right. Well, they just had the big Secretary of War bringing all the generals and admirals together. Did you see any of that?
I saw snippets of the clips on what they were saying. Yeah, we're going to do this. And I got to say, why have they not had PT tests for generals ever?
Yeah, so, right? So actually, I didn't know that either. I think they had to, because I don't know, but maybe it's wavered at a certain rank. I don't know, obviously. So I was enlisted, right? I retired as an E7. I couldn't tell you. So, but now it's even twice. So normally, I think you only took so I retired in 16, but you took your PT test once a year. And but now they take it. Now they're taking it twice a year.
Oh, good Lord!
Yeah.
And I was thinking of listening to the Unsubscribed podcast. They're like, "Oh, it's definitely back. Everything's back. The shark attacks, all that." oh, sir, this is stressing me out card. It's like, as soon as he said all that stuff that he just did,
Yeah.
those cards are gone. Anything that is, I'm feeling too stressed out is gone. It's like the military.
At TAC P school has like I don't know what the statistic is. So being a TAC P, we had about a 30, I think like a 30 or 40% washout rate, right? So it's not, again, it's not, Navy SEALs type of washout rate, but it's enough. But like I tell my kids about just some of the dumb stuff, right, that they did to shark you.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. They're just like,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, you had this one little speck of your bed not made properly.
No, yeah, and I've helped train guys after I became right, and and was helping, and had dudes in mud puddles doing flutter kicks, putting a hose on them.
Sounds like football.
Right.
That's one of the things. I was like, I was in marching band in high school, and then I played football in high school.
Well, my wife does. She's a personnel. I mean, so my Bethany's, like I said, so she's still in. She's an E8, so she gets to say she outranks me. But she's a personnel specialist.
Yeah.
She does nerdy personnel stuff.
Yeah. I say high school prepped me perfectly for the military if I was to go, because like I said, I was in marching band, so I had to learn how to march properly, and then I was in football where you beat the crap out of yourself. And I distinctly remember one of my coaches, and his last name was Mr. Fury. He said, "Your mommies are not here," and this is straight up drill sergeant-y ish.
That'd be like having a last name Fury. That's good.
Yeah. Now instead you got Staff Sergeant High. A buddy of mine, actually a former Marine, actually was a drill sergeant too. So
I'll tell you this. This is just a quick story. It's actually when I got off of straight active duty and then went into the Air Force Reserves, because I was in the process of being an Air Force drill instructor. It's a special duty assignment. Yeah. So I had a couple different jobs throughout, 20 some years. And yeah. And so at that time I was flying on AWACS. That was a surveillance technician. So the radar and IFF dots, like little airborne stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing that. But I was done doing that. Like that was 4 years and I was boring. And so I applied to be a TI and got accepted, but the AWACS job couldn't let me go. Right, it's the whole manning and what's good for the mission, but I wasn't doing anything. I was just so mad, and I was like, "Well, my time was up. Like I was about like 9.5 years. I was like, I'm gonna get out. Air Force, great, bye." But I stayed in the reserves, and that's how they get you in a sense, right? They're like, "Yeah, you're gonna get out, great," and you're like, "Yeah, they're probably gonna go to the reserves or guard." And sure enough, I did. I went to the reserves, and then I did all three, and then even from the reserves went over to the guard.
Well, it's like a slow but surely process of retiring out.
It was. I love the military. I mean, I left because I was like, I could just see at 20 some years, like I was kind of just skirting some of the rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like with uniform, my uniform looked good, but like for the I would cuff my sleeves in. Why look great? It actually is against the regulations, and so I just felt like I was more of a hindrance to myself. I mean, but I miss it. I mean, it still was.
You knew how to play the system without getting in trouble, basically.
Yeah. Until it was coming down. So that's what I was going to do. I was going to transfer over, and I was going to become a first sergeant. I was going to leave. I was getting older, right? So I wasn't going to be able to keep doing any running and gunning stuff, and so I was going to become a first sergeant. But that's when I kind of noticed, like I was still messing with my uniform, like blousing my boots, like people. When you blouse your boots, you'll see. But I blouse my boots like all the way down, like the lowest part of like the eyelet, like around the ankle, and just things like that. And just as a first sergeant, having to enforce some of those rules where I'm breaking those rules, I was like, I'm gonna just retire.
Yeah. Like my stepdad, when he was retiring from, because he was a maintenance guy his whole life, and he lost his job, got fired from some BS reason because of the company, and they're like, oh, you have to get this done, but then you need this guy with you, and then guy never available, and he's getting either way, and it's like he got a better job afterwards, so that was a cool thing. But yeah, when he was applying, he was looking for jobs. And I'm like, oh, we can offer you a supervisor position. He's like, no, nope, I know better.
Yeah, right.
So after you got out of the military for 20 years, and we could probably go talk on how many stuff. Actually, I want to go talk about the military for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, sure.
Before the podcast started, you told me you talked about Warthog, the A10. Mm-hmm. And I
Yeah,
want to get into that.
yeah. The A10. Like I can tell you, like when I say like a little cool story, I'll tell you like a war story, right? So it's Afghanistan, right? 2011. I was down in South Kandahar region.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not mountainous down there. If you're familiar with the terrain, or if anyone's familiar with the terrain, so I had a lot of collateral damage, and so I could usually strafe, but I wasn't dropping a lot of bombs. I was either doing some shows of force, so right where the A10 just coming down, or strafing. And so, but we were on a little patrol, getting shot at, pew pew pew. But the Army guys, and this is when I say about the A10, like just being creative and what you can do. So I have A10s overhead, but again, it's too collateral. Like I can't do anything. But what I do is I fake it. So the Army has a thing called APOBs. APOBs, it can be in a vehicle, but it's also in a backpack. So you have an Army guy with this backpack on. Well, the backpack is just filled with explosives. They pull a cord, a wire shoots out, and then it slowly goes down and drops and then explodes. So it's like a mine clearance, right? It's very loud, but it's very directional, right? That little cord goes up and it lays down. It blows up just on that line, right? So they can clear all that themselves. So literally, what I did, we're being shot at, and we're wheeling and dealing. I got A10s overhead. They're looking. We're talking on the radio. I did a show of force with them, but what I did is I coordinated the APOB explosion after they did their show of force, and I'm talking like coming down like 200 feet, and then they pull, and then he calls clear, and then I have him shoot the APOBs. So it kind of acts like they dropped, right? So when you're the enemy, you see the plane, and all of a sudden you hear an explosion, which is very eye opening. Yeah, so I got to do stuff like that. So literally, here I am talking to pilots and doing that. That's what a TACP and a JTAC would do, right? You're controlling that air. You're talking to the pilot, and you're with the Army trying to do stuff, and it's just that's where in a job interview you try to tell that story of like, hey, how'd you think outside the box? And you tell that story, and they're like, oh, okay, sure, but like, yeah, that is really it. Like a lot of people don't do things like that, but you do a show for us, and it was cool. Now it was I would tell you, it was a little delayed. That thing shoots up, so they came and called clear, then I had to wait. But it still was a good effect.
Yeah, I would have been like, okay, just shoot a few things to make it sound like they got the minigun from hell out there.
Yeah, well, these pilots are incredible. A10 pilots are just, and then you get so it's called a FAC-A, Forward Air Controller Airborne, and so he can be an airborne JTAC. That pilot is just, for me, is just, yeah, it's like fanboying. You get like an A10 FAC-A pilot.
And are they going to retire that soon?
Yeah, I think they're pulling it. Like I think the Maryland Air Guard just lost all of their A10s. So like right now, the Maryland Air Guard, I read something like is the only Air Guard without an aircraft. Like they don't have any planes because they were A10s.
I'm hoping with Hegsketh in his position, he realizes, yes, this is a very effective plane. Let's keep it for another 20 years.
They could. I mean, there's just a lot. I mean, they have other platforms. Like, so the Air Force it's the crop duster. Like, I don't know what the designation of it is, but it's literally a crop duster.
Yeah.
And they're just loading that thing up. I don't know. I've been out of the game so long. Like I see it. I don't. Sure. I mean, but again, that's not that's a propeller. So it's not even going to be, because I'd say again, a show of force is what it's called, right? When you just get the plane to come low overhead and and scare the crap out of them.
Yeah.
I mean, an A10 show of force is.
Oh yeah.
No. Yeah.
There's something to be said about when you see that plane with the machine gun the way it is.
Yeah, it was literally built around it.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's made by the people that made my washing machine. I mean, there's that literally says everything you need to know about it. You're like, holy cow, they built the washing machine and then they perfected the minigun.
I think it's there's some diagrams. I think I've seen it. Like, so I think it's what is a Gal 8. I should know this. Probably get
Yeah.
yelled at for not knowing. But they show it. It's like the size of a Volkswagen Bug. Like the
And
whole gun system, like from the barrels to like where it is, like inside, it's like literally the size of a Volkswagen Bug.
yeah. And then the cockpit's a freaking bathtub made out of titanium.
Yeah. A lot of
It's like
pilots been shot at and stuff like that. I mean, that thing can take some damage.
the most well-protected pilots in the Air Force are the guys that do strafing runs.
I'll tell you what's the next though. That's the thing is if not the next, but like if you want to think helicopter, so the Apache.
Oh, good Lord.
Woo, man. The Apache's a sexy beast too.
With those Vulcan they're not Vulcans, are they? They're playing with Gatling guns.
For the Apache,
Yeah.
it has one on the front. I don't know what. Again, I should know. I don't know what that is, but that thing can have hellfires and a crap ton of.
Oh my goodness! And he's got.
Yeah.
It's a smaller variety of like mini missiles or something. I could be getting it wrong.
They're the. God, dude,
I haven't looked up Apaches in a very long time.
I have my book, but it's over there. It's called the J Fire. What am I? I'm blanking. It's the little missiles.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's like the amount of missiles, and they got two of them, one on each side of the helicopter. And holy cow, dude!
So this is.
I know.
We're
We're side questing in a podcast about outdoorsmen to talk about Apache helicopters. I don't mind.
It's just the 2.75 rockets.
Yeah.
Those little rockets, and
Aren't those the Hellfire rockets?
The Hellfire is the AGM 114.
Okay.
Any TACP that listens to this is going to be like, you're ousted, Dan. You couldn't remember.
I know. I have
It's
exposed you.
Like, but I do have this. So this is it's called the J Fire. It's what you operate off of when.
I need you to shoot this target with this.
Yeah. Because there's rules, right? There's stuff that's like mandatory. I mean, when you're calling in airstrikes, so there's certain lines that are mandatory, right? And if you missed one and then something bad were to go and then they review it and you missed a mandatory thing, it's one of those, you're in trouble.
So I remember hearing the story about that one unit that got caught in an ambush strike zone. I forget the place and everything, but it was a target-rich environment all the way around. They're surrounded, and they're calling in airstrikes like no manata.
I never had something like that, but I mean, I can see it and I can imagine it, right? And you kind of always train, for it. That's just so danger close is the term, because you think about like the bomb has a certain collateral damage, distance, and things like that, and I can't even imagine being like surrounded and just like you see guys, Medal of Honor winners and guys even with Bronze Stars and Silver, or not Bronze Stars, whatever, Silver Stars, who've done some like really heroic crap, and like, dude, like it's crazy. Like, I mean, I've gotten in some little nice firefights and blah 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 cool stuff, but nothing.
Yeah, nothing like having to call in airstrikes. Then eventually,
no, and I am definitely not a stolen valor guy. I'll be the first. Like, I mean, while I did like some cool stuff, I never did anything like that.
Yeah, hearing that story, how they went from being in a target-rich environment, they're having to call in everything to be creative to funnel the guys to them because now they're bored out of their minds.
Yeah.
Like, where is everybody?
Too. I'm actually just trying to wrap AC 130, the AC 130, right? That's another good one. Right? That thing just but that's usually at night, so that's a lot of night ops more for that thing. But
so it was on the Unsubscribed podcast. The fellow electrician was talking about how it's good Lord, the Dragon launch system.
Is that off the back of it now?
Yep, where it's 12 missiles that literally just get yeeted out the back, and then they drop out, and then they activate, and they go everywhere.
Yeah, again, I retired in 16, but I remember like when I retired, like a lot of that stuff was kind of just coming out. I do air quotes, just coming out. It had coming out, but yeah, there because that you have to be like platforms like that. Like you think about the A10, like you have to be creative. And an AC 130, you got to be like, all right, look, man, like I don't want to be scrapped, right? So
Let's
what
yeah, well, also that takes us a lot of money, all that. Like, well, we have this perfectly good airplane.
yeah,
Well, let's just make it so that you shoot missiles out the back, and then, well, we don't have to worry about fuel usage as much because it's cheaper for the fuel for the plane than it is for the rockets and the
sure, yeah,
missiles. And holy cow, those things are like, what, 1,000-pound bombs, and they're getting 12 per
Are they
pack is getting
1,000?
sent out the back.
Are they 1,000 or probably 500? So they
Uh,
thousands?
I think it could be 500.
They could be 500.
Yeah,
So
500.
most of the bombs are 500, 1,000, or 2,000. Um, Again, if I'm speaking like I knew something, the Navy kind of always used the thousands. We like Air Force and Army, Air Force, we were like 500 or 2,000 pounders. But 2,000
Yeah.
pounders are too big, so they probably I bet they're 500. They could even be smaller ones. Like they were coming up with some crazy like 250-pound small diameter bombs, right? But like these things can get super accurate.
Yeah. Okay,
Are you
so,
Googling it?
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
Googling it. So it's got 4 to 45 AGM-15 AB Jazzmers,
Okay.
a JASSM ER extended range cruise missiles, which range from 570 to 1,200 pounds.
Right.
Oh my good Lord,
Yeah.
dude. 4 to 45?
That's the kind of stuff you need, right? But that's kind of stuff again, right? You're in it.
If
I
it
mean, Lone Survivor. I got Marcus Luttrell's alive, but I can only imagine again. Like you look at a story like that, if they would have had AC
that
130 support, right? Like, can you imagine just the waste that AC 130 could have laid upon that mountaintop to keep them alive, right?
it'd be like and I keep on using stories I keep hearing, but holy cow, it'd be like that one time I think it was during Vietnam or Korea, the guys that got holed up and they were being attacked, but I think it was Viet Cong, and they were calling for air support. Nobody was responding. Then they heard over the radio, "What's your position? Don't move." And next thing they know, they got a car dealership coming in around them. Same concept, only it comes from the sky.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Phew.
But that's what a TAC-P, what a JTAC does. The Air Force has combat. It's also called combat controllers. Same thing. They get their JTAC is a status. So JTAC is what gives you a qualification to do that. TAC-P is a career field. Anyway, but
Jeez. I know.
it was
We
great.
went
I did that for my last 7 years that I was in. I became a TAC-P in 07 and then retired in 16.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
we just went on a tangent for like 20 some minutes.
It's good though. Any military folks that, I mean, this is
Yeah, I could hear war
yeah.
stories or fighting stories all day long. It's not because of the glorification, but because our military is just something else.
Well, a lot of people, like you said, you did. Like I talked about Jonathan Lopez. I mean, John was what Army, and then Sam was Army,
Yeah,
and
and
then
it's like,
Caleb, right? And you and I talked about Caleb. He hasn't been on Brewer, but Caleb's a Green Beret.
all right, friends. I I'm making more and more friends with guys that I haven't thought I'd be talking to.
Yeah. Jason DeBanti, I tell you, Jason was Army, and then Jason's he was a helicopter guy in the Army.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, it's
And you talk about being adaptive. I mean, like I said, he just won silver in South Korea for the para archery. Yeah.
all right. Now I need to get him on.
I'll actually let him know, like Sean. I'll when we get done, like I'll pass it on. Jason's great. Jason's here in San Antonio.
Nice. I need
As
to get a
well.
lot of people on.
Yeah, right.
It's like, wait, how did he shift to military so fast? I went
Right.
no reason whatsoever. It's not like they go from shooting things with guns to shooting things with bows and a heartbeat.
No, and that's where I tell you, archery for me. I'll be your podcast co-host. Archery for
Right?
me, like that's a good segment, right?
Yeah,
I
we
picked it up. I
segued
picked
real
it up
fast
when I
there.
got into BRCC. Evan gave me a bow, and it's the PSE that I still shoot with. The stealth, the carbon, and I still have guns, right? I like shooting. I did a lot of shooting throughout all my career and stuff, but bows for me now are really it. So I don't really shoot guns a lot anymore. I know you and I were talking about too, like donut. Like so, Cody lives here in San Antonio, and I've got invited to like their range days. So I went to one of the range days that the guys have, and it's still cool. It's great. But archery for me, 3D archery for me is my jam.
Yeah. I'd go to a range day just for the minigun.
Oh yeah, it was pretty. It was pretty impressive. I didn't get
Yeah.
to shoot it, but I was standing behind. I think Crispy. I don't know if you know Omar.
Yep. I've talked.
Crispy's. Yeah, he
I
was. He
follow
was
him on
blasting away.
Instagram, dude.
Yeah, he was blasting away when I was standing there just holding that thing.
Oh, good Lord. Now I'm jealous of you guys down in Texas. Y'all get to have so much fun.
San Antonio's a spot.
Yeah, but Indiana's got deer. Big
No,
deer.
I say Indiana. I'm sorry. I want to retire. Like when we retire, like for real. I want to do probably like an Idaho, northern Idaho, Montana,
Yep.
Colorado type thing. I think we're gonna be mountain folk.
Yeah. Yeah,
Is
I
that your
know
son?
that
I
one.
saw your son walk by. You got the kids.
Yeah. Yep.
It's life,
Post,
dude.
yeah, I'm starting to post videos to YouTube since I switched platforms
Yeah.
for this stuff, and I'm like, oh, is a child present in there? Son of a gun! Now I got to move it and whatnot. Like you're trying to keep their anonymity from all this,
Yeah. Right.
but yeah, I mean, knowing all those going down to Texas, I'd love to go down to Texas because I got first invited by a guy named Chad Walligura, and dove hunting with him, and wasn't able to make it due to Texas was in a drought at that time, so couldn't do dove hunting.
Yep.
And then finances became a little bit tough on that area too. So travel was fun.
I just did my second. There's a nonprofit called Real Warriors. They do fishing stuff, but their founder Joey's here in Texas too, and so they do a dove hunt, and I got to do that. That was fun. I mean, right? Everyone's sitting out on the line, just in the big open field, waiting for these poor birds, blasting them.
Then you get your feel, and then you make poppers out of them.
Yep, yep. A little bacon, cream cheese, jalapeno.
Ooh, yep. Cook those bad boys right up. A
Yep.
good way to make them even spicier is to soak them in beer first.
Really?
Oh my goodness.
I did. So I'd say last year, actually, I did I did like buffalo nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
They were a bit gamey, right? It's a bit gamey, but so maybe the beer would have been good to soak them in a little, get rid of the gaminess.
Yeah.
It was good, right? Just like
Yep.
chicken nuggets.
My brother and I, we bought these like homemade, store bought, but they were made with just bacon wrapped around jalapenos
Yep.
with cream cheese in them, and we seared them up on the pan first, getting the bacon cooked and everything, and then I poured beer into it, to give it like a beer flavor to everything, and it just made the heat 10 times stronger.
Right.
So, you ever want to spice things up?
I sweat a lot though, man, on spicy. I love buffalo wings, and any friends listening when they do, yeah, mustard can make me sweat right here.
Oof.
Yeah. I love it though. It's not. It's just. We actually had to Google it, but there's a thing called the mustard sweats.
No kidding.
Yeah. So when I eat wings, it's usually pretty comical. Like I'm just drenched.
Honey mustard as well. So, what got you into BRCC?
Yeah. So with my wife, Beth being still, she was in the guard, and she is in the guard, but she's active duty on active duty orders for the guard. It's a thing. We PCS, so we moved from Oklahoma down to here in late 2018, and yeah, I had left my little aviation gig stuff that I was doing up in Oklahoma and had to find a job, just like a typical military spouse. And it was random. I was on Indeed, and literally BRCC had an ad that ran. They wanted a prior captain in '03 who used to be a general's aide. Like that's literally how the ad read back then. The power of LinkedIn. I got a hold of the COO at the time, Scott Harvey, and messaged Scott and landed an interview, and I was like, hey, how about like a Combat E7? And so I did and I actually interviewed and yeah, got the job and started like a week later and did there about 3.5 years. But I worked for, it was pretty scary. Like I worked directly for Evan. I was supposed to support Tom Davin. Tom just, I feel like was born a CEO, just like I said, and I didn't ever really have to do too much for Tom, but by definition, I did support the CEO and the co-CEO, and Tom was the co-CEO. But I worked directly for Evan.
Wow. And that's one of, I know we talked about before the podcast, like, yeah, one of the guys that you'll, like Steve Renaud, one of the guys you'll never get on your podcast unless you become really, really, really famous.
No, it's not that. Like he's just, it's a thing. Like even when he and I, like we've texted. Like I told you, I started my company back in June, and we texted back then, and it just even though he's not the CEO, right, of Black Rifle, he's still the founder, and so he's still heavily involved, and right, and he has a family, so it's not like he's just diving into a pool of gold, right? It's not like that at
Oh, I know.
all. Like he's still, if he ever hears this, he's doing okay, right? Like all those guys are doing okay.
Yeah.
But like he still puts in a lot of work, so he's busy, and then he just, yeah. So I mean, it would just be tough. I mean, even like Matt and JT, they do right. They do a lot of podcasts, but these guys are just. You and I talked about it, it's time. Like
Yep.
people get busy.
That's something,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. Is like I
Yeah.
probably will never be able to unless I start getting a booking manager or whatnot. And
Right.
that's my job currently as a booking manager myself.
I would tell you
But
that though, that's still relied upon you, but like it's them, it's their time.
oh yeah, and guys like that, they're doing like 16 different things from Sunday because you got to make time for your family. But then, yes, you got BRCC, but eventually you're like,
stuff for yourself. Like he just went on a hunt, I think, with like Rogan and all those guys. Yeah, right. They just went on an elk hunt, and you can say, "Oh, poor life." I get it, but you like those are things almost that like kind of you have
they
to
cut
do
into your life actually.
Yeah,
too.
right. And so yeah,
It's like I've noticed this: the more you invest in your time and whatnot, like say for a company, the less time you have for other things. Because I've talked to, like, I was trying to get on one of the people from, good Lord, Duck Dynasty, and I had to go through, their people for, setting up. They said unavailable at this time. Like, okay, I mean, there's not much you can do about it.
No, right? Exactly. So yeah.
But I say this is like he's on the mythical level with Renelia and trying to get on the podcast. It's like
I had a guy I know. I won't name any names. He actually tried to reach out to me to see if he could get his boss like on Rogan, and I was like, "How do you think I can do that?" And he's like, "Because you know Evan, and Evan knows Rogan, so you can get him one." I was like, "It does not work like that.
No,
that is not anything. That is not." I was like,
no.
Thank you for thinking of me. That maybe I have that kind of pool. I said that's a no. It's like that's a no.
I'm just. Oh, good Lord. I have a better chance of asking you to help me get sponsorship with BRCC.
No, I know, right? Like it's just but you can't fault someone for asking. That's the thing
I
too,
know.
right?
It's
Like you said, like you ask a bunch and you get some denials, and so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I just want to have somebody on, to have it like at this chance meeting the way we are. It's like, well, I used to actually do this stuff for BRCC. I'm like,
yeah.
Well,
Sam,
I got my thing done.
Well, that's how Sam. I think Sam and I he knew of me because at Black. So like, if you notice, like the sign above my head, right? It's a Total Archery Challenge sign. BRCC was the subtitle sponsor when we started, and then Yeti let it go, and then we became the title sponsor. Well, events fell under me, so I was the one, Evan's approval and Evan's guidance, but I was the one signing the contract and going the Total Archery Challenges. And so, when Sam created Archery in Motion, his 3D archery target moving thing, I think that's how he knew me, was probably from like a BRCC, but TAC. Like I didn't ever work for TAC, but I would tell you like TAC is one of my things in my mind that's just I love it. And so Sean's the owner of TAC, and he's a great person. So for Sam to create even the Valor Archery Challenge, which really isn't a competitor to TAC, it's just another venue like in Colorado.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, to do 3D shoots is great. I want to do it here in Texas. Like I that's a goal for me for my little gig is I eventually want to have at a minimum 20 acres, but I want to have my own property to be able to do a 3D course, right? To bring veterans and people on and do stuff.
And
So yeah.
have it with the mobile archery targets. Holy cow.
So I haven't shot. So I've seen Sam's Archery in Motion, the moving, but I've never shot one. I
know.
will next year. I will next year. 2026, 100% is on the list. I will put my butt and make it up to Colorado, and I will shoot.
I need to get a bow first.
You don't shoot a bow? You just rifle?
Crossbow.
Crossbow. Okay.
That's what Indiana allows, and my
Sure.
father-in-law got me started in with a crossbow.
Yeah. So I've never shot a crossbow, and I've actually never shot a recurve or traditional bow. I've always been
want to get. I was at one of the last MAFs out there, and I shot my first bow for the first time, and I'm like, I know what I'm doing with this. They gave me the pointers. I'm like, yeah, I know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
And so that's something I want to eventually get into, and because I like iron sights more than I like scope. But yeah, I treat crossbow like it is the muzzle loader of
archery.
Because
yeah,
by the time I'm reloading this crossbow and get everything settled up and ready to go, you've probably already fired 3 shots.
Yeah, right.
When I've already fired only 2. So
yeah,
I'm like, you've emptied your quiver. I've just got ready to go for number 2. And the hilarious thing is, you would think that this, because they got all these specialized crossbows out there that can reach out really well.
Well, who's what crossbow do you shoot? Like
I use, it's an older model. It's a X-Force Advantage.
Is it a Raven? Raven makes crossbows, right?
Yeah, this is a Carbon Express.
Okay. I don't know much about it. I just know, again, BRCC days, there was some crew, and it was from Raven. I remember Raven crossbows.
Oh, not Carbon Express. Oh, good Lord. What is it? I had the individual line, which is the hilarious part about it. But
well, so that's the thing for me for archery, like picking it up though. So I was never a sniper or a long range shooting guy, because that kind of stuff takes the patience and everything. But that's how archery though, for me, picking it up, and I'm not comparing it to a sniper by any means, but it's just the level of focus. It's the right. I mean, to the little things. Tip of your arrow has to be make sure like your field tip, right? It's got to be tightened, right? Make sure that's tightened. Knocking it in, right? And I do use a trigger, so I use a trigger pull. Clip it in, right? Pulling back, anchor, elbow up, tip of the nose. Looking through my peep and then getting my sight, and then your sight there's a bubble, right? So make sure my bubble is level. Stance. And then now I'm focused on the target and then releasing, right? And cool. And I know, so the trigger for me, just again, you go back to shooting and pew.
Yeah.
That whole scenario and checklist, world could be burning down around me. You're like, oh, what? What's going on? Yeah, it's great.
For me, it's like I get something in my sights, and it's just like, especially with the crosshair or something.
Yeah,
I'm zoned in. It's like, okay, do it correctly. But when it's come to crunch time, like with big animals or whatnot, I know exactly where I'm aiming, and I know what I'm doing. Now, I talked with Barb Terry. This is a while back. I think the episode was. This had been. Good Lord. Back in March of 2023 when I had them on. She is the coordinator and customer relationships and education director for 10 Point Crossbow Technologies.
Okay.
They've got some nice crossbows
Yeah,
nowadays
yep.
where essentially you got the crank to it.
Yep.
It's and you can let go of it and it'll stay put. Or if you
Wow.
can reverse it down and I gotta stop and I'm gonna talk to somebody, it'll stay put. It's not gonna, pull everywhere. So
Yeah.
you can crank that thing as long as you want to get it properly in the set. You're not gonna have to worry about hurting yourself doing it. Put the
Sure.
bolt on, boom.
See, and I just always, for me, the crossbow, like I just, anytime, well, even when I say it, it's the medieval crossbow, right? The big loop at the end. You got to put your foot in. You got to yank back on the string and click it in.
Oh, that's me. That's the 10 point. Not the 10 point, but that's the X Force Advantage I got. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I got to do the two
You still
string
got to do
thing.
that. It's still a thing.
Yep.
Okay.
So the one I got,
Yeah.
like I said, it's an older model. It's about
Yeah.
315 feet a second. So yeah, I put my foot in the thing and I got to pull back, get it dang thing proper, make sure it's all locked in. Because
Right.
if it's not properly locked in, it will not fire.
Sure. Yeah.
Mine
Yeah.
has that safety feature on it, which I'm happy
No, and
for.
that's the thing. Like for tack, and that's the thing with crossbows, though. Unfortunately, it's just those bolts. The bolt's so big, and a foam target. It's just it's too much.
Well, they have like certain targets that can
Yeah.
take crossbows. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, you have to actually invest in them. But I like crossbow for me. I'm only going to get maybe 2 shots anyways, so
Sure.
I
Yeah.
might as
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
make it.
Yep.
Might as well make it count. And so, like I said, I treat it like it's the muzzle loader with the crossbow world. You're only going to go so much, and guess the recommended maximum yardage for a shot with a crossbow.
The maximum.
Recommended maximum for hunting.
Oh. I don't. 100 yards, shorter or longer?
Shorter,
Oh. 40.
about 40 to 50 yards.
Yeah. Which is weird because so I went longer because on a
Because
compound bow, you're looking at like again, you talk about ethical, people do hunting, like 40 is even with a
pretty well
compound.
max.
Yeah, well, I was thinking crossbow like
But you could reach out and touch them. But yeah, you still the way
I guess
Barb was.
ethically or whatever you want to
Yeah,
like you want yeah.
well, too many variables. Like
Yeah.
if you're hunting in dense forest and you
Yeah.
hit something, it's
Sure.
gonna go wild.
Yeah.
Or
So
wind.
it's yeah. So it's
It,
staying there about the same as a compound bow for hunting.
yeah, I mean,
Correct.
you're
Yeah.
looking down a scope versus
Yeah.
iron sights, basically.
Have you shot a target? Like what's the farthest target you've shot?
With Crossy,
Yeah.
I went about, I want to say 40 yards.
That's the farthest?
40, maybe 50 yards. Because
Dude,
I
106 with my compound bow on a foam buck target.
well, to be fair, I was trying to
I'm gonna
shoot
hit it.
near my, I wasn't trying to go over a berm hill I have because I was shooting in town.
Yeah.
And those things got a little more power to push it out. And when they go into the dirt, holy cow, you lose them fast because they're only 20 inches long.
Yeah. No,
I
and
mean,
I can imagine. Yeah,
I just found the bolt that's up on the guy behind me
yeah.
this year, clearing it out for winter peas.
Yeah. Right.
And I bagged him 2 years ago.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That was a nice through and through. I'll take it though.
Yeah.
But
I hope to get I helped a friend out doing something, and I think I'm gonna get to go here in October to a ranch here in the San Antonio, South Texas area.
yeah,
Because I don't have any mounts, man. I don't have a buck mount on my wall. I told my wife, I said, I gotta get a buck this year.
my wife
I
says
need a
I'm not
mount.
allowed to get any full body mounts anymore. Not
You
full
know,
body, but
I
shoulder
don't have
mounts.
any, but that's my wife said, she goes, where are you gonna put it? I was like the living room, and she's like, well, you can put it in your man cave office. I was like, no, that thing's gotta go in the living room.
I've got 2 in the living room. I've got my.
Yeah.
I've only gotten 3 bucks
Okay.
in my 9 years of hunting,
Yeah.
and the first one is my little. I call him the Prince because he was reservoir, my first buck ever. A small little 8-pointer, if you will. Then I moved to my private land that I hunt, which is basically 10 acres of urban.
Yeah.
I got my 9-pointer, and then I got this 10-pointer behind me.
Right.
And every year the mount cost kept increasing. This year I have the plan of Rack Hub. You ever heard
Yeah.
of them?
No. No.
So essentially, they're thing that you can do it with a Euro mount, or you could do it with a shoulder mount, or just the antlers alone. Where you take the antlers off, you drill a hole into them and put an insert in, and then they have these holders for your antlers to go into. But if you want to say, oh, I want to look at my antlers,
Right.
take them. You can take one or both out of the holster of the skull or the mount, or just off the wall, and you don't have to remove the whole thing in the
Yeah.
process.
Is the Euromount the one where they bleach it? Is that the skull?
Yeah, that's the skull one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
either it gets bleached or they put it in with a bunch of beetles that are just for eating flesh.
Yeah. 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 Okay. I don't know which one I would like. I love. So that's what. So what do they call that one on your wall? Is that a
That's
shoulder?
a shoulder mount.
Yeah. I like that. I think that was. If I get
Yeah.
a buck, like I think that's for my first. Like I'm gonna have to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, mine went from 400 to 450 to 750. I'm like,
Right.
yeah. So I'm gonna go with Rack Hub. I'm looking that up right now on my phone, which is why I'm looking down, so that way I can
No, you're
figure it
good.
out. And I misspelled Rack Hub. That's how tired I can be. Yeah, like $109 for like this display for something, or
Sure.
it's cheaper for that. Oh, actually, there's a double one for. There's like different varieties and one. Yeah, there's one where you can just display your antlers on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
That
like
10-pointer behind you is pretty nice. That's
$89.
nice looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice looking.
Nice little
looking
10-pointer.
deer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I shot him, and I kind of did like a single lung and then a gut shot on him because he was quartered just the wrong angle. I thought I was going to get both lungs, but I didn't. I got one.
You in a ground blind or in a tree or what?
Ground blind.
Ground blind. Yeah. Okay.
And so I shot him, and he took off. I didn't hear the crash like I normally do. I'm like,
Yeah.
So I waited about 5 minutes. I got out, and I'm looking around for blood because I'm thinking, okay, he's taking off a little bit. And there he is, just inside the brush line of the trees, laying down, looking at me, and I just immediately look away like, oh, where'd he go? I walk off. I'm like, yep, see you later, buddy. I come back about a half hour later. There he is.
Yeah. My doe that I got, this was years ago. My first one, like it gets her and she jumps, but I had been doing again 3D archery so much, like I yelled nope because I thought I missed, right? I didn't know she was gonna jump, and my guy Jamie was with me, and Jamie's like, shh, like you got her, like you perfect shot, right? Yeah. But I didn't know, like I was just so used to like foam targets, right? It thumps and you get it, and so that's
Yeah.
I guess what I was thinking.
Instead, you see like this big.
The doe went like, I don't know, 40 yards, 50 yards, right? And we got her. Yeah.
My doe from last year, I shot. I got a perfect double lung, but holy cow, did she travel 60 yards?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was through the brush, and here I am. My back was hurting from the amount of time just trying to look for blood droplets.
Yeah.
And then it started getting dark. And then it started sprinkling. It got even darker, and I'm still having to follow a blood trail in the dark, in the rain, in the blood. And then I see the eyes shine. I'm like, oh crap, is she still alive looking at me?
Yeah, no, I got a ton of friends who are like big, like I say, big hunters. Mike and I know guys at Montana Knife Company, right? And they do bear hunting and elk hunting and I think it's awesome. I just never found the time, and it's expensive because if no one's giving you anything and you're paying, like you're like, oof, oof. But elk is fantastic meat. So
yeah, I'm lucky that Indiana has such a lovely abundance of deer.
Right. I went to Georgia. That's when I did mine. I went to Georgia. So me doing this hunt, hopefully here this month or October, it'll be my first Texas one. So
yeah,
kind of excited about that.
I'd love to go down there for the Nilgai.
What is that? What is Nilgai?
Nilgai is like it's in the antelope family, but it's the
Oh,
size
okay.
of a freaking cow. The problem is
So that's an
there's
exotic then, right? Is that an
yeah,
exotic?
it's an
Yeah.
exotic,
Okay. Okay.
and you shoot it. Its skin actually will seal up on itself, so you got to shoot multiple times just to drop it. Yeah. So you shoot it, and immediately that bullet will go in, or the freaking arrow will go in. Then the skin's you like, sorry about your luck.
No, I don't
Like
think. Yeah.
you got to drop them, or they ain't gonna be seen anymore.
Bethany wants to do a hog hunt from a helicopter. My wife.
Can I join?
Yeah, right. Whoa. She said she wants to. We don't have anything on the calendar for it, but she's always just like, if anyone's ever offering, she's
I
like, I
know,
want
right?
it. I want. That's what I want. She's like, I want to get on a hog hunt from a helicopter.
I think we've gone on so many tangents now today. It's funny, but I like doing that. So we're gonna get back on track and
Okay.
say what caused you to want to go with your new business.
Yeah, it was Oklahoma Total Archery Challenge this year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2025, so that's April. Bethany and I were in Oklahoma and we're shooting and we're done. And we were just looking at everybody. And TAC, we'll have over a 3-day weekend, you're talking about 2,500 people.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of people. And I had been doing it for a couple years, right? And so it just was, and for me, it always like that season, like hunters love deer season or when elk season comes or, bear or whatever. For me,
Mm-hmm.
TAC is a season. April, the Oklahoma TAC is the opener, right? It's like, it's the opener and it'll go to August and that's throughout the country. So I don't get to go to too many of them these days, but we were at there. So this was April of this year. And I just was like, what's the widget, right? What do we create? What is it? And I'm not that archery guy. Like I don't fletch my own arrows and stuff like that. And so like I know enough to be, dangerous. But I do know the community.
Yeah.
And so that's what it is and what I wanted to make it. And so it's bootstrap, right? It's my money
Mm-hmm.
making these shirts and putting them out and then kind of recycling money, right? And recouping. And so Arrow and Honor Co was formed, right? We came home that beginning of April and um Texas TAC is like 2 weeks later. So it's at the end of April, right? Sean has had TAC for 12 or 14 years, something like that. Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I admire Sean and for me he's a great mentor to me. And so that end of April, I called him when Texas TAC was coming and I said, "Hey, can I like hit you up? Like I need to like run something by you." And he was like, "Yeah, like I'm driving around if you can come up." And so it was a Friday. So we were already shooting Saturday, right? So I shot Saturday. So but Friday night, like I roll up and he's in a truck helping drive people back and forth between the courses and the vendor village. And Sean and I spent probably about 2 hours in the truck together, and I pitched the idea, right? So Arrow and Honor Co, veterans in archery, so it is a niche. Like I concentrate on veterans, and again healing for archery. And I was like, is it a dumb idea, right? And I think if Sean would have said, yeah, dude, like do not do it, like that is completely not it. I probably would not have done it. Again, taking his advice because it's just so uneasy. And so, it's like anything, you have to shoot ideas past people. And I said, and we sat and he was like, no. He was like, dude, it's a great idea. He's like, the archery community, yes, it's small. And then you're narrowing it down even really to veterans in archery in a sense, right? I mean, anyone can buy a shirt, but I'm really targeting, like veterans and military folks in archery, but it is again for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said, yeah, like it's not dumb. He said it's not dumb. So I was like, all right. And I already had an LLC, but I wasn't doing anything with it. It was just sitting, right? It was me consulting if I ever were consulting.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the paperwork to do the whole do business as, change the name. Yeah, went through that whole little LLC using LegalZoom just to change it.
Yeah.
Yeah, found so the guy Brian Hamill, Used to run apparel for Black Rifle back in the early days. Brian still lives in Salt Lake, and he had left BRCC as well, and he started his own printing company. And so I got a hold of Brian, and Brian said, "Yeah, man, let's, I'll do it." So Brian makes he makes shirts for other people too, but Brian makes my shirts and ships them out for me.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to save money and do it from the whole, hey, Dan started this from his garage. That is just not realistic. Like,
Yep. Sometimes it's better to outsource than it is to try and do it yourself.
It is just not realistic because I know, like, again, being in early days, a little bit of BRCC, like, operations and logistics, I was like, no. But guys and gals who start businesses and do that, like, more power to them. Like Evan did. Like, Evan and the guys literally, they started like from a garage. Dan, who started Grunt Style, right, way back in the day, was literally selling shit out of his trunk of his car. Which is lately, I feel like I need to start doing that, just driving the bases and opening up my trunk and,
Hey guys, do you want something out of the trunk?
right, t-shirts. I just want to take some pictures. So yeah, we started it. So June 6th. So I launched it June 6th. So it's just been around 4 months now.
Mm-hmm.
But my goal was it's just not pimping shirts. Like, I'm not in the next, Grunt Style or 9 line for archery. It's more than that, because tack, to me, it's a community, and there's buzzwords like tribe and things like that, which I love, but I know I need those. So this is a start, right? Getting shirts or hats or tumblers, right? Getting a tumbler is great, because that's going to allow me, like, so for 2026, I'm going to be at, well, my goal is I want to be at 4 tacks as a vendor, right?
Nice.
So I have a tent, and I went to Colorado tack this year. I had a little FOMO and pulled the trigger, and they hooked me up, and we drove up to Colorado. We sold like 80 shirts. But right, it was more about a lot of people, the conversations. Like, hey, what is this? And it really is, hey, I'm gonna get veterans into archery, and these are some cool designs, and so but same thing with Sam, I talk about Valor Archery Challenge, and Sam, like, I want to make it up as a vendor, obviously, to support one of Sam's events. But when you're bootstrapping, doing stuff yourself, for me to load up the truck, drive to Colorado, and have inventory and everything is a lot, right?
Yep.
And so it's selling 80 shirts at TAC is worth it. Like, driving to Colorado and selling like 10, it's kind of like but I would maybe need to combine it, right? And so I could, and that's the thing. I have to strategically think of things like that. Wisconsin, there's a couple of things in Wisconsin the guys have invited me to. But I'm just like, that's a 24-hour drive from like San Antonio to Wisconsin to do an event. And I'm just like, and I hate thinking of the money aspect of it, because if money wasn't an object,
you'd be traveling all over the place.
I would travel, like, I would, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
But and that's the thing though, and I made this a for-profit to give back to nonprofits and everything, because I actually, I polled, right, a lot of people, and I said, hey, should I make it a nonprofit or a for-profit? And it was about a 60-40 split, like 60% in favor of a for-profit, then and able to give back to nonprofits. But that's still pretty close. Like 60-40 is not a landslide, in my book by any means. But again, if I did ever do a nonprofit, because I've thought about that too, like, well, maybe I just switch it over, because that is a lot of what I'm doing. Creating that community, for me, there's no difference for profit or nonprofit. My message would still be the same. The only difference in my message would be this versus like buy a shirt.
Yeah. And
that's really it. Yeah.
And buying a shirt is probably a little more profitable to be able to continue making more, basically.
Yeah. Well, it is the profits, because like I don't want to eat ramen and, crackers and ketchup and just drink water like I'm a prisoner, right? By any means. And a nonprofit, I mean, again, I could have a salary too, but it comes down to like what I'm doing, and the community is aspect of it, really, because again, if I ever can get 20, and I say that 20 is the minimum, 100 is what I want. If I can get 20 to 100 acres here in Central Texas, like, my goal is, like I said, like, to have nonprofits be able to come and have a retreat on the property and do archery, or help fundraise 3D archery events, right, on the property. Because I've done shirts. I did a Purple Heart shirt for a nonprofit that I'm friends with, Warrior Bonfire Program. So we sold a little over 100 shirts, and I did $10 for every shirt sold went back to them. So I was able to donate $1,200 to them.
That's really good, actually.
Yeah. Sean, I don't know when you release this. I doubt you release it tomorrow, but I'll say it even if you release it tomorrow. So I'm doing one for breast cancer awareness. So I did a shirt. Now it's not a veteran nonprofit just because I couldn't really find a breast cancer awareness veteran nonprofit specific. So I reached out to the team at the Pink Fund and gave them a design that I did, that supports breast cancer awareness, because that's for the month of October. And they're like, yeah, well, I mean, we'll thumbs up. Sure, you can reference us and we'll, gladly take a donation. And again, it'll be, I don't expect, if I sell 200 shirts, then great, they get $2,000. I'm just always realistic, just again, with how business is. I'll sell probably 100 shirts, which is great. And I'll be able to write them a check, though, which will go to their cause for breast cancer awareness. And then I'll do that. I have a bunch of designs where it's in my head because that's what I want to do. Because that community, again, that I'm talking about, it's the whole, walk the walk, right? I'm just not going to talk about it. Like I'm going to do what I'm going to. I'm doing what I said.
I know I shot you an idea, my idea anyways, that just ruminated from my head this past week about the Skyrim reference with IEDs. And I'm like, is that too on the nose? Is that too, that? And you're like, yeah, it's fine.
And it's a thing, I would say, like the breast cancer awareness one, I didn't want to go too hardcore. I did have two designs and they were like, yeah, that design's probably not an on brand for us, which is fine. But the original design I did, it's a duck. And so it's UCK cancer. So a duck begins with a D. The other design would replace the F, right?
Duck cancer.
We went with duck cancer instead of the other one. Which, both are great. I mean, no one wants to deal with that. I mean, and so, but I think the design, and again, it's a duck with a bow, and they're like, you could really go down a troll rabbit hole of, you don't duck hunt with a bow, and you're like, no, you don't. But it's the whole play on it. Some people will love the shirt, some people won't. But for me, it is archery, and for their cause, for breast cancer awareness, obviously. That's super important mission. But yeah, so that's Arrow and Anarcho, and that's just how it's going to keep going. I haven't asked for any investors. Again, I'm bootstrapping it. It's the family money.
Yep. I guarantee if you asked Evan, he'd probably be like, yeah, sure, here, have some money.
I don't know about that. He's involved with Archery Country. So Archery Country is a shop up in Austin.
So he's setting up. He's like that. We were talking about with business and whatnot. Those guys are always setting up new businesses because.
Yeah, well, they did set that up. I would say so. If you're not, have you ever heard of Archery Country?
No, I have not.
So Archery Country, yeah, no, these guys are great. So Tyler is the owner up there. It's in Austin, but again, like Rogan's involved with it. Evan's involved with it.
Can't imagine why those guys.
Yeah, I don't know who else is involved with it, but anyway, those guys are involved. But Tyler cooks though too. So when we did the veteran adaptive athlete shoots at Black Rifle, Tyler cooked for free.
Jeez, oh.
Yeah, like barbecuing and doing everything, which is the generosity. No, so yeah, they didn't create Archery Country, but they are involved. But it's relationships. And I support them 100%. Like I've actually been up to the Austin Archery Club. Yeah, that Archery Country kind of has done some stuff with, and archery communities. It's like a military community. It's an outdoor, right? Outdoor people are good people.
Yes, they are actually a very good community.
Right.
It's very supporting.
Yeah.
Now, we just need to get the archery community as a whole with crossbow hunters and everybody together, not have them all argue too much.
Oh man, I would tell you, I've already had, so like, here's my one design, right? This is Gorilla in Space, but as you can tell,
Mm-hmm.
it's a compound bow. Most of my designs like, actually, so that poster behind me, if people are watching, that's a design I did, but I made it into a poster. What's he have?
Nice.
He has a compound bow.
Yep.
Trust me, I've already had the recurve, the trad community being like, you need to do
This, and this.
a design with a trad bow in it.
I got it. I got the best way to do it. We use our the design I was telling you about, the idea,
Yeah.
and dude in a chair up on a mountain with the freaking flag, and then he has a crossbow in the other hand, like flag in the left hand, crossbow in the right, and saying, I took the blah blah blah, and just have that from like an aerial positioning, so you get to see the whole thing.
Yeah. I would tell you, like, I know, like, Jonathan's not in a chair, but he shoots with his teeth because he has one arm.
But dude,
You want to talk about
just having that image of the dude, one arm freaking
shooting the mouth tab? I'm always blown away. Like, just when the image always pops into my head and I see it, like, I'm just like,
You're
what?
thinking the skeleton, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I just can't. Like, I've watched. I know John. Like, just putting it. I'm like, oh my god.
He's not the
Yeah.
only one. That is,
Yep.
they say that is way more accurate too.
Really? I mean, he shoots great. Yeah, but
Yeah. So my first guess was GX Adaptive Archery.
Mhm.
They're a nonprofit organization, and I learned recently that beforehand everything is in-house covered.
Yeah.
Now it's like, hey, we need you to buy the supplies. I will make it. So it's like a harness rig that goes around your body that's flexible enough and whatnot. And essentially there's a clothespin that will, like a bite trigger release. So
Sure.
you pull it similar to what that is, but you
Yeah.
bite down the trigger and it releases it for you.
Yeah. I mean, there's people on the Paralympic team that are shooting with their feet. So that's what I love, and that's kind of what I like to promote. Like, when I do talk about archery, like, yeah, I have all my limbs and right, and I get it, but it's like, if you want to get into archery, like, there's really zero excuses. Yeah, right. Like, pretty. Like, I would. Yeah.
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 So where do you see Arrow and Archery and Archery Co. in the future?
Yeah. Arrow and Honor Co. It's fine. It's a
I'm
mouthful.
sorry.
No. Sean, you're fine. You're fine. I see Arrow and Honor Co. in the future. Dream what I want: 100 acres, and it having like 4 or 5 cabins, like space that you could probably fit about 20 people to sleep, right? Gazebos, right? Outdoor stuff, right? Fire pit, and it being a place where locals can come and just shoot 3D archery, right? And when I say 3D archery, like a Total Archery Challenge, getting the outdoor experience, like walking on a trail, being
Good
in
Lord.
the woods, right? You're not just standing at a range. And I'm not downplaying any ranges,
Oh yeah.
but it's the outdoors, right? Just like the name of your show, right? It is the outdoors. And so that provides local everyday use. But then it comes to the healing aspect, if it stays for profit, is having nonprofits come out,
Yeah,
and be able to use the property for a retreat, right? I mean, how many nonprofits have retreats and they have events and they do all this stuff? And so to be an organization, a tool to help those nonprofits out. And then really, again, it's promoting the sport of archery, right? Again, I'm not an archery instructor. Like, I don't even fletch, again, my own arrows. Like, I'm not at that level, but like the aspect of it and having all those people there, yeah, 100%. Like, that community is just, for me, selfishly, is very healing. For me, would be, yeah, it's it. And so it's not like, it almost is like you create this to heal
they will come.
yourself.
Yeah.
But that's the point of, like, most businesses, like, or even nonprofits, like you believe in something so much that you're doing it, it's helping you, but then you're expanding it out then to get to such a bigger audience.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'd say down in Texas, there's Disabled Outdoorsman USA.
Okay.
That'd be a great one for you.
Yeah.
I know. I'm going to hook you up with nonprofits because holy cow, have I talked to a lot of nonprofits.
When you talk about your chairs, like, so I'm familiar with the all-terrain chairs. So again, Jason has like a chair that even has like 4x4 wheels, but then he has a track chair. And so again, BRCC days, we created the veteran adaptive athlete chute. And we had, in years 2 and 3 of them, we had, I think, like 2 or 3 guys on, and gals, like Leah. I think Leah was actually in a corral. She was in a track chair. I mean, they're not the smoothest of rides. I mean, it's a tank, right? But the whole point is to be able to go where I can go. And so when I actually created the course, right, the building the course that we had here in San Antonio at the BRCC ranch, that's how I met Jason, because Jason had his chair, the one with the wheels, but they're big 4x4 wheels. And I said, well, if he can get there in that chair as we made the course, I said, and then a track chair, and then obviously a side-by-side can go all day. And so, yeah, because that's what we wanted. We wanted everyone to be together. People with 2 legs be able to walk, right? With people in a track chair throughout the whole same terrain, zigzagging through.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I hope to see that happen in the future, man. That sounds great.
It's something like you could tell usually my voice. People, when they listen to this that know me, like, I could tell if I start talking, I'll get louder, and I get yeah.
So
it is. It's just, but it's the problem. It's always money, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's always money. It just comes down to being able to execute that dream. Yeah.
I understand that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
So, do you want to tell everybody how to reach you via social media?
Yeah. I only use 3 platforms, for the business and then even for myself. So Instagram, you go on Instagram, it's Arrow and Honor Co. Right? You find it. There's only one. Me, right? If you want to follow me, there's Dan Horgan. It's my face. It's not any catfish. And then LinkedIn. So same thing with LinkedIn, Arrow and Honor Co. on LinkedIn, and same thing, Dan Horgan on LinkedIn. And then Facebook. You don't need to follow me on Facebook. I don't use Facebook, but Arrow and Honor Co. is on Facebook. And but emails, but we have a website, right? So not like we talk about doing events, but I have a cool website, arrowandhonorco.com, and shirts, like these tumblers, and that was, a lot of BRCC context. So this is made by Big Frig. So they're up out of South Dakota. But they do like the tumblers, some tumblers for BRCC. They do some tumblers for 9 Line Apparel, and I made some friends with them, and they were able to do some for me. So I have some tumblers on there, and it'll grow. But it's on the 3: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn.
Yeah. I need to get apparel, but that's just me.
No, so and that's the thing. Like you and I were talking before. Like, I don't think I've sold a shirt like in 6 or 8 days, and it's just. But that's business. And I'm not paying. I don't do any paid ads. Everything's organic. Right. And so, but I know paid ads work, but it's
a gamble of money,
which I don't have. So,
right. I understand this. I have a soon to be 6-month-old daughter and an 11-year-old son. So
God bless you. My youngest is 13, and that's enough. I'm getting older. He's going to turn 18, and I'm going to be like, real retirement.
Yep. I was looking at today about Alaska, the Last Frontier, back in 2011. The dude Ivan's a year older than me, so that's why I'm like, holy cow, time has flown.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, Dan, thank you for coming on and talking about Honor and Arrow Corps.
Arrow and Honor.
Arrow and Honor Corps.
Here you go, right here. Here you go.
I'm gonna smack myself a little bit, wake myself up a little bit. Arrow and Honor Corps.
It's not like Nike. I should have just came up with a one-word brand, but like it's tough.
Honor Co.
Honor, right?
Well, thank you, man, for coming on and telling about
it was a pleasure, dude. I had a great time.
Thank you, man. And remember, stay adaptive. Why am I